Welcome to part 2 of our FortNite PC basic build. Now, in the last episode, I ran into a few roadblocks. The motherboard and the processor was not working correctly. I actually finally did get an on-screen display, but with the fact that it's not stable, I don't trust it to hand over to an 11-year-old, so we're going to go with a different route. I was going to go ahead and go out and get the bin full of stuff, but it started raining. So now I'm waiting for the weather to get under control, and then we're going to go get the stuff. So stick around. Alright, so all the computer parts are in this shed right here. So I have to dig through here to get the tub out. I'm gonna have to get a flashlight. We are back, and I got it working. Yes, the original board that I said didn't work does work. I put some time into it and troubleshooted some more off camera because it just kept bothering me. I couldn't deal with it. Basically what I did was I got another power supply. I found a Cooler Master 600 watt power supply, hooked it up to it, and I changed the orientation of the RAM. Now I think there is a sketchy RAM slot on here, but I'm only using 2 sticks, and the orientation I have them in now actually work. So I've got a total of 8 gigs of RAM. I had to change the graphics card. For some reason the PowerColor HD 7870 would not play with this board. I put the 285 on there, the GTX 285, and it actually booted, and I got a screen. So I got the 6970 that's been sitting around. It's actually a 6950 that I BIOS flashed to a 6970 BIOS, and it's also a 2 gig card. It's a little bit older, but it should still work. It'll be a lot better than this card or the 285 at this point. But the cool part is I have the system working. I already had a copy of Windows 10 that was activated on this hard drive down here, and what I'm doing is I went in and set it to reset the operating system and erase all files and everything. So I'm going to let it finish doing this. I'm going to go finish spraying out the case, and then I'll come back and check in with you. Well, what do we have here? It reset. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to take and hook it up to the internet externally, like so. I'm going to go ahead and do the installation of getting everything set up before I put it into the case, which I have cleaned a lot of that dust and stuff out of, and I'll show you some more of that when I go to put the stuff in it. But I figured it might make sense with all the trouble I've been having with this, to make sure everything's stable, just leave it running here on the bench, and then I'll let it go ahead and do all the updates and everything. And then once I know that the equipment plays well together, I'll then put it in the case and we'll go from there. Alright, so we're actually doing Windows Update. If you didn't already know, Windows 10, the activation actually binds itself to the hardware, the motherboard, the CPU. If you've already activated it with a legit code, you can reinstall Windows 10 and when it's connected to the network, it'll reactivate and initialize itself. Now, if you have to update your motherboard or your CPU, you can call the number, and a lot of times they'll pass the activation on for you and reactivate it for you, as long as you don't abuse that. You know, like a normal person would upgrade every couple years, potentially, if you're an enthusiast or whatnot. The fact that this was my son's computer before means that Windows 10 was already activated on this, and instead of calling and transferring over to his new computer, I just got him a new copy, knowing that I was eventually going to be doing this for Braden. So far it is doing pretty well. I'm used to having SSDs for the main drives for my build, so this is going a little slower than I'm used to, but we will persevere and let it do its thing, and then we'll be back. Well, I believe I figured out why, when this hardware or this motherboard was in my son's computer, what was causing it to be unstable. I noticed that on a boot up, this is the same Seagate Barracuda 7200 RPM hard drive that I had his operating system on. On a boot up, it kind of like took a little while. So I decided to run a disk check, and lo and behold, there were errors found. I think I figured out why this computer used to be unstable. So I'm going to try to do a repair on it, and if it don't, I'm going to end up finding another hard drive to put the operating system on. I have another Barracuda 750 gig hard drive here for his overflow to put his games and his files on, but I'm going to see what happens with this, and if it still shows that it needs repairs because of errors, I'm just going to do away with this hard drive, mark it as bad, and get another OS drive.
I am the PC Necromancer. I bring PC parts back from the dead. And now, the spirit of the great PC magicians will cause this to work again.